Hello there. For those people in the United States, this week is Thanksgiving. And it can be a wonderful time of gratitude, wonderful food. It can also be a time of tense conversations. So I thought in this video I would share with you some tips on how to kind of smooth over those moments if they come up. My name is Diane, darling. And a number of years ago, I experienced this at the Thanksgiving table when someone made a comment during the Clarence Thomas and Anita Hill hearings about race, gender, and politics. And about 30 people went silent when this woman made the comment. And my mother looked at me with that look as if to say, without saying it, you are going to say nothing. And no one knew what to say. And so I'm not quite sure how or why I had the presence of mind, but I looked at the ceiling and I said, Mrs. So-and-so, who was our host, who I had not met before this day, you're an architect. When you walk into a room, do you see walls gone? Do you see walls that are not there? Do you see colors? I'd love to hear about how you visualize a room. Everybody kind of looked at me a little curious, like, were you not listening? And then everybody realized I was trying to change the subject. So here's a few tips to help you prepare for maybe some tough moments over the Thanksgiving meal or the whole weekend. 1, have a conversation topic that you can bring up. Ideally, it's not something too controversial, but it's something that lots of people can participate in. It's not something that's going to make someone feel excluded or included. It can be something generic. And sometimes things like the weather are a part of that, but it's okay. Have something that everyone can talk about. 2, decide if you're willing to go into a difficult conversation and maybe say to somebody, I'm curious why you think that way, or I disagree. If you want to do that, that's okay. In some cases, it does not necessarily calm things down. It may even escalate it, but it's something you can do if you choose to do it. 3, if there's kids around, bring in the kids. Talk about kids stuff. Kids are always light, funny. Well, sometimes they're not, but you know what I'm saying. So you can ask a question about a little one. What's your favorite subject in school? What do you do in your play dates? Do you have friends? Include the kids in, because sometimes kids can be a neutralizer. 4, talk about the food. There's usually a lot of really good food. And you can ask people, about their favorite recipes. Is there a story to the food? Something like that. Number 5, and this is a tricky one, is if these conversations can come up and it's likely that's going to happen, and it's likely it's going to happen, be mindful of alcohol. Sometimes it just exacerbates the situation, and you can be just mindful of that contribution. At the end of the day, this is a day about gratitude. The Canadians did their Thanksgiving a few weeks ago. It's about harvest based on the season. That's why the Canadians have theirs earlier than we do, because their harvest is earlier than ours. So I would just encourage you to be thinking about how you can make it a day of gratitude, and maybe actually just have that as a conversation. Ask people to go around the table and say, what are you grateful for? What have been some of the challenges that you have accomplished or worked through this year? We're in a dark time right now, literally. It gets dark very early. And so this 6 weeks between the time change and the winter solstice can be a dark time. The weather is horrible in the United States with the fires. There's just a lot of things that are going wrong. So if you can bring an optimistic perspective, that will be welcomed by everyone. I wish you a wonderful Thanksgiving. All right, take care.